In this final video on data modification statements in SQL, we'll take a quick look at deleting data from tables. Of course though, when it comes to deleting rows from our tables, we have to keep in mind that various foreign key constraints will kick in to prevent orphaned data and invalid references. For example, looking at the relationships between our tables, we wouldn't be able to just go ahead and delete a customer if that customer had made rentals, payments, and so on, because that customer ID would be referenced in those other tables. So for this video, I'm going to be deleting records from the payment table. Payment IDs aren't referenced in any other tables, so we won't run across any foreign key issues. Let's start by deleting all of the payments. We simply write that as delete from payment without any where clause. And to verify the deletion, I'll add a select statement after that. Running this script, we see our payment table is now empty. Usually though, you'll want to limit your delete with a where clause, targeting just one or a couple of different rows. Let's do that now, and we'll delete the payment with ID 17,000. And I'll use the returning clause to return that deleted row. Running this script. So that payment has been deleted from the payment table, and we were able to use the returning clause to return us the row that was deleted. As it was with updating, we can use a subquery to inspect rows in other tables if we want to do a conditional delete. Let's delete all the payments from customers with a first name of John. If you like, you should be able to do this on your own at this point, so feel free to pause the video here and have a go. Okay, so we want to delete all the payments from customers with a first name of John. We can achieve that with a subquery, and we'll use where exists, where the first name is John, and we want to make sure the customer IDs match. And we'll use the returning clause to return us the deleted rows. Let's run this as a script now. We can see that 31 payments were deleted, and all of those payments have the same customer ID 300. Let's just double check that and look up the details for customer 300. And that customer does indeed have a first name of John. Finally, if you do need to delete all the rows from a table, you can of course just write delete from table. One problem with that though is for very large tables, it can be quite slow. An alternative approach is to use the truncate statement. Truncate will allow you to quickly delete all the rows from a table. Truncate gets its performance gains because it's minimally logged and it doesn't scan the entire table. A consequence of that though is it doesn't work when the table is referenced by a foreign key constraint, even if there's no data in the table. So if you want to use truncate on a table that does have some foreign key constraints, you'll first need to drop those, perform the truncation, and then re-add those constraints back. To avoid that now though, we'll just truncate the payment table, which doesn't have any such foreign key constraints. And we'll select all the rows from the payment table afterwards to verify that it succeeded. Let's run that script. And the payment table is now empty. In this video, we covered deletion, and this closes off this chapter on data modification statements in SQL. Have a go at the exercises to practice what you've learned here, and then try out the end of chapter challenge exercises when you're ready.